So in last 9 or 10 lectures, we have covered semi-solid dosage form. All the semi-solid dosage form that we have covered, like ointment, then cream, paste, gel, their properties, and all the things related to the semi-solid dosage form that we have covered. In today's lectures, we will see another one dosage form. It's the semi-solid dosage form. We can say that is a suppository. I think many of you know what is exactly suppository means, but you don't know in detail what exactly the base that we are using for the preparations of the suppository, what are the types of suppository, or how they are formed, or what are the different ingredients that are to included to prepare the suppositories. So in this particular suppository topic, we'll cover all those aspects regarding the manufacturing, then what are the quality control evaluations, or all those things like our semi-solid dosage form that we have covered in last lectures. So all those points we are going to cover in this particular suppositories topic. So before starting the lectures, can anyone tell me what is suppository, or what you know about the suppositories? Yes, anyone? आवाज येतोय ना सगळ्यांना? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll discuss later on. So what we are going to cover under the suppository topic. So the introduction related to the suppositories, its definition, advantages, disadvantages, desirable features of the suppositories, like a factor that are affecting for the skin penetrations here. We have studied the factors that are affecting the rectal absorption. And then same as the semi-solid dosage form that we are using various types of base. The four main types of base, that is oleaginous bases, then absorption base, then your water removable base and water absorbable base. So depending upon that, here also there are various types of base that you have to prepare. So there are various types of suppositories like cocoa butter suppositories are there, or the glycerol suppositories are there. So depending upon that, you have to select the proper base. So again the same thing, their specifications, their classifications, what are the features of that each and every base, and how to select the suppository base, or there are some special bases are also there, so that we are going to cover under suppository base point. Then like a semi-solid dosage form, here also we are going to see the large scale manufacturing of suppositories. So all the formulations related to aspect and what are the different problems will occurs during the formulations of suppositories in the large scale manufacturing with the equipments involved at each step. So that we are going to cover at time what are the quality control tests for our suppositories are. So that we'll cover all the points related to the suppositories. In second year or first year, you just know what is exactly suppository means. So the definitions will be there. But here we cover all the aspects of suppositories. Means starting from their definitions till to your quality control test. Because as such suppositories, when you are considering what is suppositories, so suppositories, these are the semi-solid dosage form, or we can say it is a semi-solid, solid or the semi-solid dosage form of the medicament, which is inserted into the body cavity. What comes in our mind, suppository, that means that this particular medicament that are only inserted into the rectum. That is the simple thing that we do. But basically, suppositories means this is basically Latin word suppositus. So suppositus, that means to place under. So these particular suppository means there are n numbers of body cavity, or there are various body cavities are present. So like ear which is having some cavity, nose which is having some cavity, urethral cavity is there, vaginal cavity is there. So those medicaments that are inserted into the body cavity, like a rectum, like a urethra, like a vagina, where they made. or softer to release the drug and produce their local or the systemic effect. So as I said, this particular suppository that derived from the Latin word suppositus, that meaning to place under. So, if you see the history of suppository, so suppository use has been known as early as 2600 before Christ and was recommended in works of the Hippocrates. Means we called the founder of the medicine, Hippocrates. So it has a long history. It's not like that it is an advanced drug delivery system that we have developed. But basically, the advancement, or we can say the actual placement of suppositories in pharmaceutical formulations, which is comes in 1930. So, in a pre-modern era, the pre-modern suppositories that just made with the help of the hand using the soap or other semi-solid fatty substances that will act as a main vehicle, and in which whatever the active or we can say the naturally occurring material is incorporated. Then until 17th to 18th century, this particularly suppositories were not commonly used until the 17th to 18th century, and it becomes popular in 19th century. So first recommended suppositories, it is called the Oleum theobroma suppositories, was first recommended to the American pharmacist by the A.B. Taylor in 1852. And then in 1930, Bruno Solomon that published a critical study of the suppositories base, in which he classified the suppositories into the three broad types, and since there means this particular suppository that can be used to overcome the various side effects, or we can say the disadvantages inherent to the inherent to the oral therapy. So like there are some drugs that can be get metabolized to the oral route. So instead of that, we can use this substituted route or route as well as the medicines also. So in 1930, since 1930, there is lots of modifications were made in particularly suppository dosage form. So as I said in 1913, Bruno Solomon that published a critical study of the suppository base into which he classified into the three broad classes. First is your coca butter suppositories, means which contains the oleaginous bases or the hydrocarbon bases. Then fat or the wax combinations with the coca butter, means mixing of your means like a fusion method. And third one, your glycerol-gelatin base, means which contain the glycerinated gelatin. We'll see in detail what exactly in each and every type of suppository that includes. So this is we can say the brief history of suppository, how it is developed since 2600 before Christ and till now. Now there are various types of advanced suppositories are also there, like layer suppositories are there, then capsule suppositories are there, coated suppositories are there, disposable mold suppositories are there. So this is the advancement they have taken place. Uh, so what is suppository? So it is a solid, or we can say the stiffened semi-solid dosage form that is meant for the insertions into the body cavity other than mouth. That has to be clear, because most of the times the remaining dosage form like a tablet, capsule, or even suspension emulsions, except those are the injections or the injections that we have taken through the that all the dosage form we have taken through the oral route. So apart from that, these particular semi-solid dosage form that are prepared or that are meant for the insertions into the body cavity. So depending upon route of administrations, also these particular suppositories are divided, or depending upon the base that we are using, these particular suppositories are divided. So that we are going to see later on. So basically, the medicament that is incorporated in the suppository base and the product that is formulated. So you have to formulate in such a way that it should be either made or dissolved in a body cavity. So whenever you are using the base in this particular suppository formulations, which is having the melting point as compared to our body temperature, so it can be made and it can release your medicament at a specific time. So it comes under semi-solid preparations because it is prepared by melting all the ingredients. means base and other additives along with the active ingredients. We will not call as a solid dosage form. But solid dosage form आपले कोणकोणते आहेत? Like a tablet, like a tinctures are there, like a powder is there. So where we have to carry out a compression to reduce the particle size. But here the method that we are adopting for the preparations of the suppositories. So there will be the hand rolling method will be there, or there may be a hot process or the fusion method will be there, or the cold compression method will be there. So in this particularly, you have to melt pure ingredients, and most of them base that we are using are the hydrocarbon bases or the glycerol bases. So that's why this particularly comes under the semi-solid dosage form. In some book, it is called as a solid preparations, but if you consider as a semi-solid dosage form, we have seen that when you are preparing any ointment, cream, or when you are talking about a glycerol like a gel, you are preparing. So obviously, you have to melt that all the ingredients, and you have to add the other additives along with active ingredients along with that, what are the melted bases, and that's why this particularly supposedly that comes under the semi-solid dosage form. So these are available in a different shapes and size and a weight depending upon on which cavity that you have inserted. Because if you see, if you have to insert it into the ear, like a ear could, so the size will be the varied. If you want to insert it that particular suppository to the rectum or through the urethra, the size will be the varied along with the weight also. Because it should not be means, it must be patient compliant, patient compatible basically. So that's why the size, shape, and weight of that particular suppositories that we have to consider while formulating the suppositories here. All the types of suppositories are made at normal body temperatures after introducing in a body cavity and produce the systemic as well as our local effect, or we can say they produce the local systemic and the mechanical actions. So the action means the release of medicament. It is depends upon your how the base get made first and how we deliver the medicament into the body. So basically, drug that may be administered in suppository form for the either local actions or either systemic effects. So these particular actions that depends on the nature of the drug, its concentrations and the rate of absorption. There are many scientists have proved that or published that the use of various types of suppositories they call means they having various side effects also. But if you are using the proper base that can be made at your body temperatures or that can release your medicament at the proper concentration, so that will give the better release, or we can say that will be helpful for your proper rate of medicament, because if you are considering the anatomy of the rectum, simple example. So rectum, that is a hollow organ that mostly comprise the last portions of our large intestine, which is up to 12 to I think 18 centimeter in length. So we can say it is the terminal part of the large intestine. So as compared to the other parts, the fluid availability that particular we can say that particular regions will be the low, along with that pH of that particular vector, because that can be affect on your drug delivery. There are various physiological and physiochemical factors also that can affect, along with that the diffusibility, that one of the rate limiting step in drug absorptions, in particular rectal absorption, that is the diffusibility, because the diffusions of the drug to the site of the rectal mucosa at which the absorption occurs, so that can be influenced not only by the nature of the medicament, like a presence of surfactant will be there, or or the water lipoid solubility of the drug will be there, so that can affect on your release carrier. There are various chemical barriers are also there. Some dietary fibers will be present like pectin will be there. So they having some various types of properties, so that can be affect on your absorptions. Along with that, if you are considering the physiochemical factors also, so there are also various physiochemical factors that can affect, like any sal form will be there, or what is the surfactant that you are using, or whatever the other base that you are using. So depending upon that, your release matters or the release diffusions of that medicament at the specific site that can be varies, and that's have to be considered. So the main thing that you have to consider, that is what are the base that you have incorporated, that must be made at a normal body temperature, because unless and until the base first made, your medicament will not start to release their medicament. So there are various polymers we can incorporate it, so the medicament release can be occurred with the help of the pH dependent or systemic dependent. So the selections of the base in this particular suppository formulation, that is a very much important. Like a base that you are selecting in the semi-solid dosage form. So so you can, so now you can come to know that why this is called as a semi-solid dosage form. Clear? Then just 1 minute. Okay. Then we'll see the classification of suppositories. So this is just a brief introduction regarding suppository, how it is developed, or what the points that you have to consider under the suppositories. So basically, suppositories that are divided into three classifications on the basis of base that we are using, on the basis of route of administrations, and third one on the basis of manufacturing processes or the method that we are using. So first we'll see on the type of bases. So there are two type of base that you have to use, like oleaginous bases and the hydrophilic bases. So the various types of suppository bases are used to prepare the suppositories. So, sorry. So that they can retain its shapes, its firmness during the storage and the administrations. So as just now I have discussed, the base should be melt or dissolved in the body cavity fluids when inserted into the body cavity. We'll see in detail when we are talking about the base, like what are their properties, what are the different types of base. So in the oleaginous bases, mostly cocoa butter and the synthetic fats are there. Means theobromine, it is the most commonly used uh, suppository base, which is having the various advantages, because the melting point of theobromine, the consistency of that particular tube or the cocoa butter, which is having the melting point of 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, so it can be easily made at our body temperatures. Some synthetic fats are there. There are the hydrophilic, there are some water solubles and water miscible base, like we can say uh, glycerolated base will be there. So it is a mixture of the glycerin and water, which is made stiff by the additions of the gelatin. So these are the hydrophilic bases, and some emulsifying bases are also there. So these particular emulsifying bases that we call the synthetic base, or we can say the mostly Vitspol is will be there, or the Mastopol is there, so which is having the means melting point at the same range of our body temperatures. So we will see in detail about base in next lectures when we are talk about type of bases. In detail, we'll cover all the type of bases. Then, as I said, suppository, that is based on the route of administrations. So there are various openings are there through the on human body. So we can insert it as a definition says, the suppositories that are the semi-solid dosage form of the medicaments that is used for the insertions into the body cavity. So here we can see there are five different routes they have said depending upon the route of administrations. Suppositories are classified as the rectal suppositories, then vaginal pessaries, then urethral and the nasal cookies, then ear cone. So these are the five different types of suppositories on the basis of your root. So what is rectal suppositories? So rectal suppositories, they are meant for the introductions into the rectum for the systemic effects. So these are generally made from the cocoa butter suppositories and are available in various sizes to meet the needs of infants, children, and the adults. So for adults, it is weight about 2 gram, or for the children, it is weight about the 1 gram to properly insertions into the rectum. So it will not be means it will not be uneasy to insert it into the rectum. So for that purpose, the weight and the size of your suppository that has to be controlled. Along with that, rectal suppositories that is employed in a vehicle that should be made or softened at our body temperatures, and then it will release the medicament. So that's why I have said those base we are using, either cocoa butter, either any synthetic fat, or either any water soluble or water dispersible base that we are using, that has a melting point below your 37 degrees Celsius. So they are generally made from the cocoa butter suppositories, because as I have just discussed about the advantages of the cocoa butter, that which is having the melting point as similar to our body temperature, or it can be made at 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. So they are not compressed as a tablet, because the amount of liquid in the rectal cavity is inadequate for the tablet disintegration. So the simple thing why we have converted it to the semi-solid dosage form. If you are using the compressed form like a tablet, so obviously to break down that tablet, you require the more amount of water or the fluid content. But as I have said, the rectum, that is the terminal part of our large intestines, which is having diameters up to the 4 centimeters and length up to the 12 to 18 centimeters. So where the fluid content is very much low as compared to the large intestines or other things. So we cannot compress the suppositories, because if you compress, it will require more water content for dissolution purpose, and that's why sorry, and that's why basically you have to prepare the suppositories with the help of the molten mass, which can be made at our body temperatures. So basically torpedo shaped suppositories are used. So they are having the larger diameters up to about one fourth of the distance from the top, and which contains which decreases towards the base, like our you can say like our bullet आपण सगळ्यांनी बघितले असेल. So it will tapering at one end, which is having a diameter, means जसं आपण lower end जातो तसं त्याची diameter ही decrease होते, and which is having one tapering end, so that can be easy to or it will help to insert that suppositories into the rectum cavity. Then second one, suppository, that is a vaginal suppositories. So these are being for the introductions into the vaginal cavity. So these are also known as the bases, and that these are the larger than the rectal suppositories, having the weight about 3 to 5 gram. Usually molded in a globular or the oviform shapes. Here we have seen rectal suppositories that are available or that are prepared in the trapper shape or the bullet shape. Here this particular vaginal suppositories that are usually molded into the globular or the oviform shape, and they provide the local actions. Local action. The moisture level of the vaginal cavity that is sufficient to allow any dissolutions of. Hello. So the moisture level present into the vaginal cavity that will helpful for the dissolution purpose, and again the same process, whatever the base that we are using here, so that will help for your melting purpose. Uh, and then third one, that is our urethral suppositories. So these particular urethral suppositories, they are sometimes called as the boogies, or same nasal suppositories also called as the boogies. So these are meant for the introductions into the urethra. These are the pencil shaped and pointed uh, at one end. So basically that we can easily insert it into the urethra. For that purpose, for the introductions into the urethra, they are the pencil shaped and pointed at one extremity. And urethral suppositories that are mostly intended for the males, having the weight about 4 grams of each, and 100 to 150 millimeter long. So, like other suppositories, these particular urethral suppositories are thin, long, and cylindrical. Available in a thin, long, and cylindrical forms. It is rounded at one end and facilitated to that is for the facilitations of the insertions. So that is weight again varies from 2 gram to the 4 gram or these particular suppositories nowadays rarely used to treat any urethral infections will be there. But the nasal boogies sometimes they will use, but the main disadvantage of using the nasal boogies is that they will ooze out from the nasal cavity if it will melt our body temperature. So obviously, if you have inserted the suppositories into the nasal cavity and it after melting at the specific body temperature, obviously it will ooze out from your nasal cavity. So most of the time, these urethral and the nasal boogies are rarely used nowadays, but in a special cases that we can use here. And last one, that is the ear hole. So this is also called the orinaria. So these are meant for the introductions into the ear, and again the same thing. Nowadays, advancements are there, eye drops are there, or sorry, ear drops are there. Nowadays, this particularly earphone, or we can say the orinaria, that are rarely used. So again the same thing like nasal suppositories and the urethral suppositories. Uh, these are the three thin, long, and cylindrical in shape and weight about 1 gram. So it's the same. They are prepared with the help of theobroma oil. Now, depending upon the manufacturing here, they have divided into again the two type I have not mentioned here. So depending upon the manufacturing, they are divided into the molded and a modern. Under the molded methods, that are the most common methods that are used, like mold are there that we can use, or hand rolling method is there, or the cold compression method. There are three basic methods that are used for the manufacturing of the suppository dosage form. That we'll discuss in later in detail about all those three methods, how they are used and what are the different equipment that they include. But along with that, there are some modern methods are also there. So that I have mentioned here regarding the tablet and the capsule suppositories. So tablet suppositories nowadays the rectal suppositories and the pastries that are used or that are prepared just like a compressions that we are compressing the tablet. But as I have said already, vaginal pastries that can be prepared with the compression, but sometimes we cannot prefer the tablet for the compression for the rectal suppositories. So basically, for the pessaries, means when we are inserting your formulations into the vaginal cavity. So these the compressed pessaries that they were formed in the almond shape for the ease of insertions and provide a large surface area for the disintegration and the absorptions. So the mostly the rectal tablets that are used means like rectal suppositories that they are generally coated with the polyethylene glycol for the protections and its easy insertion into the rectum. So the emergency action they can provide it and can be easily inserted into your body cavity. If you are talking about the capsule suppositories, so mostly the soft gelatin capsules there are two types of capsules as we know, hard gelatin capsules and the soft gelatin capsules. So those soft gelatin capsules of the different shapes and size are used for the insertion into the rectum or the vaginal cavity. So whatever the medicament will be there, liquid or the semi-solid or the solid medicaments that can be filled into the soft gelatin capsules, and that particular capsule get disintegrated at specific site or depending upon the condition that you are providing, and it will release the medicament. So nowadays this particular capsule supposedly is having the more demand as compared to the rectal suppositories, which is having the various advantages also, because for the normal suppositories you have to store them, means the storage conditions will be there, handling problems will be there, so that these particular soft gelatin capsules can be overcome those all the disadvantages. Then the layer suppositories are there. So these particular layer suppositories that contain the different drugs in a different layer. So basically, this will be used to avoid the incompatibility between those different dosage forms. So drugs that having the different melting points and or the different dissolution rate that can be incorporated to control the rate of release of medicaments. Layer suppository. So one over the others, two or three ingredients that you have to place in a specific layer. So basically, these types of suppositories, the layer suppositories, that can be prepared. By preparing by filling the partial mold first with one type of materials, and then when it gets solidified, you have to add the or you have to add the other materials or the other layer, means in a mold. When you are preparing the suppositories, suppose you have to prepare the multi-layer suppositories. So first you have to add one ingredient. Once it's melt, you have to get solidified them. Then you can add the other layer. You have to melt them. You have to get solidified the second layer. Then you can add the third layer. So likewise, you can add the different layers one over the other. So that they have called as a layer suppositories. Then last one, yes, coated suppositories are there. So this particular coated suppository, that name itself gives, obviously it having some coating. So suppositories that are coated by dipping the solutions of the coated materials like the polyethylene glycol we can use, or we can use the cetyl alcohol, also we can use for the coating purpose. So until the desired thickness we will not achieve till you have to dip that particular suppository, then it is dried and uh, which is packed. So basically, this coated suppositories that provide the lubricant properties, or again they are provide the protection during the storage, and that's why there's a coat they are providing with the help of the specific coated materials. Also, this particular coating we can use to control the release of our medicament. So, this also helps to control the release of medicaments of your formulations. Also, suppose if you want to deliver your drug at a specific site or at the specific pH, so the coat that you are providing, so that will release their medicament at that specific pH only. So, this is the advanced taking or the modern suppositories are available. And last one, that is the disposable molds. So basically, the disposable molds that are made up from the plastic materials or tin foils, and the suppositories, what is the suppository materials are there. It is poured into the disposable mold, and then it is cooled. Then that particular excess mass will be removed with the help of the sharp knife or the blades, and mold are sealed. So basically, when suppositories mass melts during the storage, it will remain into the mold itself and cannot be converted into suppositories after the cooling. So basically, these are the disposable molds where, like a disposable clothes, once we are using, we have to uh, discard them. So these particular disposable molds that are cheaper and elegant, and their shape can be changed at a lower cost. So depending upon the shape, we can use the proper molds. And at the time of insertions, once we inserted that disposable molds, so that it will remains whatever our formulations will remain, you can say the, means it cannot be reconverted into other form after cooling. So for that purpose, this disposable mold method is very useful. So these are the types of suppositories on the basis of type of base that is used, on the basis of route of administrations, and on the basis of manufacturing methods that we are using. Now we will discuss some advantages and disadvantages of the suppository base. So obviously, if we have inserted into the rectum, so it will avoid the first pass effect. So it bypass the it bypass the metabolism process. So biotransformations in a liver can be avoided after the rectal absorptions. Then it is melt at body temperatures, so it can release your medicament. That is the main uh, means once you insert it into the body cavity, it melts with the help of your uh, melts at body temperature, so it can release your medicament properly. Then it gives localized as well as the systemic actions once it is inserted into the body cavity to produce the local effect of the medicament that is incorporated into the uh, in the breast. So, like to relieve the constipations or the pain or the irritations or the itching purpose, and some systemic effects also. So, like when the rectum as a site for the systemic administrable drug. So, whatever the blood supply at the site and the rapid diffusion of the drug to the rectum because that permit the rapid absorption. So, that provides the systemic actions also. These particular suppositories we can give to the unconscious patients. Also, it is easy to use for the pediatric as well as the geriatric patients, useful to produce the local effect, useful for the rapid and a direct effect on the rectum, useful to promote the evacuations of the bowel, that is the local effect that it can use, convenient for those drug causes the gastric irritations or the vomiting. So basically, those drugs which is means uh, that is this particular convenient mode of administrations of drug which irritate the gastrointestinal tracts or sometimes it causes vomiting and sometimes it will destroyed in a acidic pH of the gastric juice of the stomach. So such type of uh, drugs that can be administered into the through the suppositories, which is the and one more advantage, it is a unit dosage form of the drug like a tablet and like a capsule. So administration is easy, handling is easy, dose accuracy we can maintain in this particular suppository formulations. So these are some advantages of suppositories formulations. Then along with that there are some disadvantages also. So we'll see what are the disadvantages of the suppositories. So sometimes the irritant drugs that can be administered by this route, then the suppositories that causes the embarrassment to the patients because when a drug is inserted or the administered by inserting the suppositories into the rectum or to the vaginal cavity or the urethral cavity. So so it causes some embarrassment to the patient also. Then along with that it needed to store at a low temperature. So uh, basically you have to require to store the suppositories at low temperature like a 10 to 20 degrees Celsius. So which is costly for the poor patients. So we require to store in a refrigerator. So obviously it will be the costly method. Along with that, the process is also cost expensive. When we discuss the process, manufacturing process, whether we are using the fusion method or the cold compression method, it is a costly process. So it cannot be prepared easily. Sometimes deficiencies may interrupt the absorption process, so the amount present inside the rectum that can be affect on our absorption process. As I have already discussed, the absorption area, surface area of the rectum is much smaller than that of the small intestine because it is the terminal end of our large intestine, which is having a 12 to 18 centimeter diameter only. So obviously the surface area that is required for the available for the drug absorptions in the rectum that is approximately equal to the 200 to 400 centimeters square. And along with that means uptake mechanisms in this particular to the transcellular route that is again depending upon your lipophilicity where the that particular formulations or sometimes so these particular factors or the we can say these are the physiological factors of rectum that can affect on your uh, absorption and the solubility of your drug. Then fluid content of the rectum is much less than that of the small intestines. So obviously this may be affect on your dissolution rate, that's how I discussed. And some drug may be degraded by the microbial flora present in the rectum. Like as I already discussed, there are some other agents, not the agents we can say. There are some chemical barriers will be there, like some dietary fibers will be present, like a pectin or the chitosans. This particular means whatever the active ingredients could be trapped within this particular solid matrix or that particular whatever the active fibers are present. So obviously once get entrapped, so there may be they will get degraded with the because of that particular presence of dietary fiber. So this will be the one of the disadvantages, and we cannot be use those the drug if you have the narrow therapeutic index or the narrow therapeutic margins, because there may be means we cannot change the toxicity risk of toxicity of those types of drugs. So these are the disadvantages of your semi-solid, not a semi-solid, suppositories. The last part of the bill is the ideal properties of suppositories. So what they are, we'll see. So obviously it should be completely non-toxic and non-irritant. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. So these are the ideal properties of suppositories, that it should be completely non-toxic and non-irritant, should be compatible with a broad variety of the drugs. Then it should be non-sensitizing, should having the wetting and the emulsifying properties. It should be stable on a storage, that is, it does not change its color, odor, or the drug release patterns. Also, it should have the acid value below 0.2. What is acid value? We have discussed in the semi-solid dosage form. What is acid value? So it is the number of milligram of KOH that is required to neutralize the 1 gram of free fatty acid, that are called as the acid value. So it should be below 0.2. What is the iodine value? That all we have covered in semi-solid dosage form. Is what is the iodine value, what is um, acid value, and what is saponification value is there. Right? Anybody remember what is iodine value? Hello? आहात की गेलात? Okay. So, so you have to consider these points also. That is, you should have the iodine value less than 7. Also, you have, that saponification value that must be ranging from 200 to 240 45. So again the same. Saponification value means the same. That is the number of milligram of KOH is required to neutralize the free acids and saponify the esters in 1 gram of the fat. That is called as the saponification value. Again, you have to consider some hydroxyl value. You have to consider the solid fat index of that particular base that we are using. Then the melting range that you have to consider. So these are the ideal properties of your suppositories. So this is the brief introductions regarding the suppositories, where we have covered definitions, the types of suppositories, then advantages and disadvantages of suppositories, and the ideal properties of the suppositories. In next lectures, we'll cover the factors that can affect on suppository absorption and activity of the suppositories. That will cover in a next lecture. Okay. Okay. It is clear to all of you?